News 12, live at 5, continues.
Well, two deadly hit and runs within a mile of one another over the weekend, and despite happening within an hour of one another, the Richmond County coroner says the two deaths are unrelated. Sydney Hood is live at Lumpkin Road, where one of these deadly incidents took place. In Sydney, what do we know so far?
Will, we know that both of these incidents took place in the early evening hours of Saturday, one around 8 o'clock and the other 9 o'clock, and both took place near busy roads. Now, out here on Lumpkin Street, Joni Mitchell was riding her bike whenever the Richmond County Sheriff's Office says a car hit her and then took off. About a mile up the road on Richmond Hill Road, Broderick Parker was walking alongside that road whenever a car hit him and took off. Again, both of these accidents took place within an hour of each other and about a mile apart from one another, but the coroner's office says that both of these cases are separate. And the here is who is responsible for killing Mitchell and Parker. We did reach out to the Richmond County Sheriff's Office to find that answer, but we have not heard back yet.
All right, thank you, Sydney. And of course, our thoughts are with the families of these two victims. We will continue to follow this story and we'll keep you guys updated as we learn more here.
Is going up much more in just about 10 minutes.
All right, thanks, Riley. We're learning more this evening about an employee who deputies say threatened to shoot up the Children's First Learning Academy. The Richmond County Sheriff's Office is still searching for 21-year-old Rashia Copeland after an incident on Friday. According to the incident report, deputies were called after an altercation where Copeland was told she could not be on the phone with family during work. Copeland allegedly got angry and threatened to hurt an employee, and said that she'd, quote, go out to the car and get a gun and shoot up the daycare. Now, Copeland is wanted for making terroristic threats, and call the sheriff's office if you know where she is. A popular local steakhouse, T-Bones, announcing that its founding member, Mark Cummins, has died. He was 66 years old. The restaurant posting the announcement on Facebook saying Cummins died after a courageous battle with cancer. T-Bones first opened its doors on Washington Road all the way back in 1986, where his legacy will continue. Another candidate joining the race to be Richmond County's next sheriff, Clarence Lucius Bo Johnson, announcing his intent to run for sheriff. He previously worked for the Department of Homeland Security as a federal air marshal for 2 decades. He also worked in Richmond County with the marshals and sheriff's offices. 2 others have announced their bids for sheriff, Eugene Brantley and Richard Dixon. Current Sheriff Richard Roundtree has not filed his intent to rerun at this time. Well, if you live in Georgia, tomorrow is your last day to register to vote. If you have moved counties or changed your name, you will have to re-register to vote. For South Carolina's deadline was yesterday. For more information and how to register, you can go to our website, wrdw.com. It takes just minutes to register so you can have a say in what happens in your community. After more than a year with its doors closed, the McDuffie County Animal Shelter is open once more. The shelter closed last summer due to accusations of abuse and neglect. In August, a grand jury met and issued some general recommendations, but no charges were filed. Then word came this summer that the shelter's new director was stepping down after just 4 months on the job. Today marks the shelter's official opening for county animal services and adoptions. Well, if you've ever applied for a passport, you know how tedious and long this process can be. And if you need a passport in an emergency, you have to travel all the way to Atlanta, and appointments are usually booked weeks in advance. Now, South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham is pushing for change by bringing a walk-in passport site to Charleston. Graham says he wants to bring easier access to people along the South Carolina coast.
We do a lot of traffic through the passport office here in Charleston, so I'm working with the State Department to give the Charleston location the ability to serve people who need a quick turnaround.
And Graham says the passport division in Charleston is working to upgrade their service, and he is going to help them secure the ability to do that. Well, it's a new day in Georgia. Our state is now on the cusp of making unique pain medication available to almost everyone. Georgia is the first state to allow the sale of low amounts of THC oil in pharmacies across the state. Our State House reporter Abby Kasouris explains how pharmacists are on the fence about if they will carry it.
There are more than 400 independent pharmacies in Georgia,
So far, more than 100 have applied for licenses to carry and sell low THC oil products. Pharmacist Kevin Pierre at 5RX Pharmacy says amongst his colleagues, it's a mixed bag on who wants to apply for a dispensing license.
THC is still a Schedule 1 drug.
He's applying to help his patients struggling to find relief from their pain.
Because I have seen many cancer patients. I've seen patients that were victims of gun violence, right? I've seen patients that it's a miracle that they're still here.
More than 27,000 Georgians suffering from the state's list of pre-existing conditions, including seizures, Parkinson's, or terminal cancers, currently have their cannabis card. They can purchase the oil from a handful of dispensaries across the state, but this would increase access. Roughly 90% of Georgians could drive 30 minutes away to purchase it.
The biggest problem that we're facing right now in healthcare is access to certain pain medications. We've known for quite some time that THC does work.
According to the rules and regulation law passed by the Georgia Access to Medical Cannabis Commission, the products, which include lotions, patches, pills, and tinctures, will be kept behind the counter. I called around today, and some pharmacies tell me that they've already applied. They're just waiting to hear back. Others say they're not interested at all. The state is expected to start sending out approval notices in the upcoming weeks. In Smyrna, I'm Abby Kasouris.
And the first medical marijuana dispensary in the CSRA is now open in Evans. Trulieve opened its doors late last month. With a medical THC oil card, you can get THC nasal sprays, oils, and a lot more. We stopped by the shop during its grand opening, and you can check out more on our website, wrdw.com. Well, popular farmers market is expanding its hours into the fall season. What they bring to the table, that's just ahead. Riley?
Well, we are expecting to stay dry tonight and tomorrow, but rain chances will be increasing through the middle of the week. We'll have that updated forecast just after the break.
Well, it's almost time to crank up the heat. I know I did when I woke up this morning. I was not expecting it to be that chilly, but after a chilly day yesterday and more cool weather ahead, the Red Cross is reminding you of some safety tips that could save your life. During the colder months, roughly half of all house fires are caused by heating appliances. Avoid overloading outlets by plugging any heater directly into the wall instead of with an extension cord. Once a space heater is plugged in and working, keep a 3-foot radius around it clear. And if you have a fireplace, now's the time to clean it and prevent anything in there from igniting. And some great advice as we start to see those chillier temperatures move into our area. We're starting to feel like fall now. And my house really didn't smell good when I turned on the heat today. It was the first time in a very long time I had to do that, Riley.
Yeah, that first time it kicks on. Definitely not the best smell in the house. But yeah, we saw some 30s out there early this morning, believe it or not. So it was a cold start. Does clear up by the weekend.
All right, thanks, Riley. Sarah's Fresh Market in Trenton is a summer staple for folks looking for some fresh produce, but for the first time, the market is expanding into the current season, the fall. Our Maria Sellers stops by the produce stand to bring us the details.
It's a farm fresh fall at Sarah's Fresh Market. We have pumpkins for your yard. We have carving pumpkins. We have hay bales, corn stalks. We also have deer corn for the hunters, as well as all of the fall produce that you normally expect.
Started 40 years ago by Sarah Powell, the roadside produce stand has been a summertime staple in the community for decades.
It stays busy, and we have a lot of customers come and visit, a lot of old friends, and a lot of new ones to be made.
It may be the first time the stand, known for its peaches, has offered pumpkins, but it's been a long time coming.
People have been coming and asking us, when are you going to be open for pumpkins? When are you going to be open for pumpkins? And we chose to do it this year, and it's been a good change.
It's met with a good community response.
A lot of people have come out and gotten pumpkins and decorated their yard and have really enjoyed having us open.
Families having fun and getting back to the basics is what she says means the most.
It's just a time to come in, take a big deep breath, enjoy the fall weather, and just have good produce and good memories made along the way.
In Edgefield County, Maria Sellers on your side.
And they're planning to host a pumpkin carving contest on October 21st with food, activities, and live music. Bruce said the fun is not stopping in the fall. They will also be open this winter with Fraser's fir trees and other Christmas-themed goodies.
Have you ever bought something at the grocery store and get home and realize you already have it? I'm Jamie Tucker. Coming up, a smartphone app to help you take inventory of what's in your pantry.
Follow us on Instagram and Facebook.
Hey, Jill, what's the matter?
Man, this name change is stressing me out.
Everyone will know we still specialize in Medicare.
Yeah, I know that, but what about this?
Are you 64.com?
Well, as prices at the grocery store continue to rise, we're all looking for ways to save money. And cutting down on food waste is one way to save, but it's easier said than done. Our consumer tech reporter, Jamie Tucker, has an app that can help you be a smarter shopper.
What the Tech, sponsored by Augusta Preparatory Day School.
There's a good explanation why you have 2 things of breadcrumbs and 6 cans of chicken noodle soup. You didn't know they were in the pantry when you bought them at the store. Well, this app called Kitchen Pal takes inventory of what's in your pantry, fridge, and freezer, so you can save some money. Kitchen Pal is one of about 100 grocery shopping apps. Using the phone's camera, scan the barcodes of items in your pantry, fridge, and freezer. That may take a little while to take inventory the first time. Kitchen Pal makes it easy, though. It has millions of items it'll recognize, even this chili paste I can't pronounce. You can change the quantity if you've already bought the same thing over and over again, and make a note of how much you have left. Is the bottle full, low, or about half empty? Or half full, however you look at it. Kitchen Pal not only keeps you from buying the same thing, it has recipes for meals, desserts, and appetizers based on what you already have. No need for another trip to the store. If you like to stay organized, you can even create meal plans for the next week. It really is a Kitchen Pal, and there are apps for both iPhone and Android devices. I'm Jamie Tucker, and Kitchen Pal is the app of the day.
The free version lets you scan up to 100 items, while the premium version is unlimited and costs $12 a year. Well, a national sailing camp for kids on the autism spectrum teaching independence and inclusion. Kids with disabilities can be excluded from sailing camps because of their accommodations. But Spectrum Sailing is helping kids across the country have fun and an inclusive day out on the water. And thanks to a partnership with the College of Charleston, kids were able to sail past the USS Yorktown through the Charleston Harbor for free. Families say it makes a world of a difference in their kids' attitudes and self-confidence.
Focusing on the water and what's going on around her, and it's such a great experience for her, and it's great for us to watch her bloom into this person who's going to do great at sailing.
Spectrum Sailing is finished for the season now, but plans to come back with even more opportunities for kids next spring. Well, the race for the NLDS is on, and the Braves have some catching up to do. Saturday, they dropped Game 1 against Philly 3-0, and today is Game 2, and all bets are on. Alyssa Lyons joins us in the studio, and should fans be worried yet, Alyssa?
Short answer is no. If you remember back in 2021 where the Braves went on to win the World Series, they dropped Game 1, but it still doesn't make your heart race a little bit come game time, and the players feel the same way. They don't want to go to Philly 2 games in the hole. And this may help too. The Braves took 8 of the 13 meetings between the clubs in regular season. In today's pregame press conference, Michael Harris II said the key to this game is pretty simple. Slow it down and back your bullpen. Atlanta has not allowed a run in Game 2 since beating the Cardinals in 2019, pitching 4 straight shutouts. While Max Fried gets the start, Kirby Yates plans to keep the tradition going when his name is called.
I think once you kind of get between the lines in these, you kind of just throw everything out, and you got to go out there and battle and compete, and just do your best to be locked in and go out there and execute your plan. I think that's the only thing you can control.
This will be Yates' first postseason appearance. It'll also be a battle for the Braves in the batter's box. All 5 of Atlanta's base hits on Saturday were singles. Game time is set for 6:07. While Game 2 may be the game of today, help us choose our game of the week. You can scan that QR code or head to the website to cast your vote.
All right, thank you for that, Alyssa. It looks like the Braves game will be dry tonight, but we are looking at higher rain chances late into the week. We'll have another look at our forecast just after the break.
Breaks for Well, this Saturday could be your last chance to see a Ring of Fire solar eclipse until 2046, so don't miss this one. It's called that because the moon is in front of the sun, but it's slightly smaller and creates a circle of light. NASA says it will be visible starting at noon on Saturday and will only last a few minutes for us. Unfortunately, it will not be a total eclipse for us. we'll still see something, but it'll be around 40% coverage. Riley, still really cool to see something like this as well.
Absolutely. Definitely not something that happens all too often. Just to emphasize, you will need kind of those special solar eclipse glasses if you remember back from, I guess it was 2017 when we had the big one that passed through. So
I can't believe it was 2017. Yeah, 6 years ago.
6 years ago. Holy cow. But we will see a partial solar eclipse on Saturday. We actually posted the time of when our ability to see it is on our weather app. So if you download our First Alert weather app, you'll have the video with all the information on how you can check that out. And we have clear skies out there this afternoon. A beautiful view looking south down the Savannah River from our Thurman Dam cam. Temperatures today still below average. Only hit highs in the mid-70s across the area after a cold start with some spots actually get into the 30s out there early this morning. This evening we'll cool off pretty quick once we get rid of the sun, so 50s by around 8, 9 o'clock, and then we should see those low temps down to the 40s again by daybreak tomorrow morning. So chilly start to our Tuesday, but later tomorrow afternoon we should get those highs back into the 80s, and then the clouds arrive. The clouds are going to knock off our high temperatures back into the 70s Wednesday through Friday. Those rain chances look to be highest Wednesday night through Friday night.
All right, thanks for that. Stick with us. We have more news, weather, and sports coming up after a very short break on News 12 at 6 o'clock.